Hey there, fellow electricity enthusiasts. I'm Leonard Parker from Destiny Marketing Solutions. You know what's truly shocking? I'm not talking about faulty wiring. I'm talking about all those website visitors, and you've probably seen them. You're looking at Google Analytics or marketing team member is showing all of these visitors that are coming to the website, but you're wondering, why aren't these people calling you? If you're running an electrical contracting business making north of $200,000 a year, but your phone isn't ringing as often as your analytics show people visiting your site, stick around. I'll show you exactly why that's happening and how to fix it. And don't touch that dial, because at the end, I'm sharing one expert tip that's helped our electrical contractor clients increase their conversion rates by over 40%. Practically overnight. Let's start with a story framework you might recognize from the movies, The Hero's Journey, coined by Joseph Campbell. It's found in Star Wars, The Hunger Games, The Matrix, and believe it or not, in every service call that you make. See, the hero's journey begins when someone faces a problem that they can't solve alone. Think about it. No one calls an electrician when everything's working perfectly. The hero, who is your customer, faces a challenge, seeks guidance, and with your help, overcomes that challenge. But here's the key insight that transforms your marketing. In this story, your customer is the hero, not you. Your role? You're the trusted mentor, the Obi-Wan Kenobi of electrical services. If your website doesn't make that clear, you're losing leads. Think about it like this. Luke Skywalker is a simple farm boy until he meets Obi-Wan, who guides him towards becoming a Jedi Knight. Katniss Everdeen becomes a symbol of rebellion with guidance from Haymitch and Cena. Neo discovers he's the one because Morpheus shows him the truth about the Matrix. In each story, the mentor doesn't do the hero's job. They provide the guidance, tools, and confidence the hero needs to succeed. If you want more engagement right now, leave a comment on which movie mentor you think best represents your business style. Are you more of an Obi-Wan, a Haymitch, or a Morpheus? I'm curious to hear. This is where most electrician websites go wrong. They position the business as the hero. We're the best. We've been in business for 30 years. We won all of these awards, received all of this press. And that's great. Those can be great credibility factors. However, your customer doesn't care about your journey. They care about theirs. They have electrical problems that they cannot solve alone. They're looking for someone who understands their needs and can guide them to a solution. If your digital presence isn't clear, credible, and actionable, they'll find another guide who makes it easier to take the next step. Remember, you're not just selling electrical services, you're guiding someone through a critical turning point in their story. Here's the painful truth. You're already paying for traffic. Whether it's Google Ads, social media, SEO. You might hear SEO, you don't pay for those clicks, but you're paying some way. Either if you're doing SEO yourself, you're paying due sweat equity, or if you're paying an agency or contractor, you're paying some way for even those free organic clicks. You're paying for this traffic, and it's simple put, getting eyes on your website, on your brand, costs money. But when those visitors leave while contacting you, that's like installing premium wiring and then never connecting it to anything. It's wasted potential and wasted money. Most electrical contractor websites are built like digital brochures, not sales tools. They look nice, they list services, maybe have some pictures of the team, but they are not built to convert visitors into leads. A pretty site that doesn't convert is just overhead. It's like hiring an apprentice who never actually shows up for work. Let's diagnose the 4 most common issues I see when auditing electrician websites. First, no clear calls to action. Visitors have no idea what to do next. Should they call? Should they fill out a form? If you don't tell them, they won't do anything. Second, trust is missing. No visible reviews, no credentials, or authentic photos of your actual team. Please, by all means, it's better to take out your mobile phone and start snapping some pictures. You don't have to wait for a professional photographer or videographer, but no one wants to see those stock images from 1999. And it's very clear that these aren't your actual team members. So think about this. Would you let a stranger into your home to work on something as critical as electricity? Neither will your customers. Third, slow load times and mobile issues. If your site takes more than 3 seconds to load or looks terrible on a phone, visitors are going to go faster than you can say short circuit. Fourth, visitors don't know what to do next or why they should do it. The path from interested to calling is unclear or complicated. Every single page on your site should have a clear job to do. Your service pages aren't just describing what you offer, they should be selling the benefits, the outcomes. What can your customer expect or experience after they've received your services? For example, don't just say panel upgrades, explain how a panel upgrade means no more trip breakers, running multiple appliances, safer home electrical systems for their family, and capacity for future needs. Include strong, obvious calls to action on every page. Request a quote, schedule a call, or get a free safety inspection. Keep your content in digestible chunks with clear headlines and no fluff. Remember, if your pages don't lead somewhere, your traffic won't either. Let me be crystal clear about your calls to action. They are the circuit breakers of the site. Without them, nothing flows. Make it painfully obvious what you want something to do. Explicit. Don't get creative with button text. Use proven phrases like call now, get a free quote, schedule service, whatever is relevant for the next step. This isn't the place for you to be clever. Repeat your calls to actions throughout longer pages, not just at the bottom. A visitor might be convinced halfway through, so give them opportunities to convert at multiple points. And make sure your calls to actions match the page they're on. Don't offer a consultation on a page about emergency services. Instead, offer same-day service. Trust signals are the voltage behind your conversions. Without enough, nothing happens. Showcase your Google, your Yelp, your HomeAdvisor, your Angie reviews. Show those proudly on your site. Display your licensing and certification information prominently. Add trust badges like licensed and insured, or if you have any special certifications like EV, ITP, use those and mention those on your site. Use real project photos, not stock images. People can spot generic stock photos faster than you can find a hot wire. Place testimonials or rating stars near your calls to action. The proximity of those testimonials or your ratings to that call to action button, it creates a powerful psychological association when someone's deciding whether to contact you. And remember, no trust equals no conversion. Your potential customers need to feel confident before they pick up the phone. It's likely that more than half of your visitors are viewing your site on a mobile device. If your site isn't optimized for mobile, you're essentially turning away half your potential business. Mobile users aren't going to pinch and zoom and hunt around your site. They'll just leave. Use large, tappable buttons, click to call phone numbers, and forms that are easy to complete on a small screen. Keep your pages scrollable and scannable. No one's reading a novel on their phone while trying to find an electrician. A site that doesn't convert on mobile is literally a broken connection to half your market. Speaking of broken connections, let's talk about site speed. Every second your site takes to load increases your bounce rate dramatically. It's been tested that sites that take more than 3 seconds to load can see bounce rates double. Think about that. And you might be wondering, what is a bounce rate? So a bounce rate is if someone lands on your website, and they don't do anything else. They just leave. So someone lands on your homepage, they don't click through to another page, they don't click to fill out a form, they don't call you. This is counted as a bounce. And the percentage of all of your website visitors that perform this behavior or exhibit this behavior, that is going to be your bounce rate. So the higher the bounce rate, the higher the indicator that you need to spend time on making your website more user-friendly. And how can you find bounce rate? I suggest installing Google Analytics 4 specifically for your site. It's a free tool from Google and it's pretty straightforward to set up. And depending on your website platform, WordPress, Squarespace, there are some really good integrations that make that setup process very simple. To get back here to my content, think about that bounce rate. It's going to double. Would you wait around for a slow electrician? Neither will your website visitors. So you want to compress or make your image files smaller. And it's a delicate balance here because you don't want to compress them so much to where they lose quality. So you want to find that balance between quality and file size. So image compression is very important. If you're on WordPress, there are WordPress plugins like Smush that will do this automatically. You also want to clean up any code or plugins that you're not using. This is very common if you've had your website for some time and maybe you're using plugins years ago, you're no longer using them, but they're still on your website. So it's a good idea to do a regular audit or have your team do an audit of all of the plugins that you're using to determine if they are still needed. Use reliable hosting. There's a plethora of hosting providers out there. My go-to is Namecheap, but you also have WP Engine. So if you have any questions about hosting providers, feel free to reach out. And lastly, you want to regularly test your site speed using tools like PageSpeed Insights or GTmetrix. GTmetrix is my go-to tool. It's very simple. So I'll do a quick demo here. It will actually show you the grade of your website speed. It'll give you what we call a waterfall. It'll tell you what files in your code or what snippets of code are contributing the most to the load time. And usually your resolution is figuring out what are those snippets or lines of code, and then figuring out if you can eliminate them or find a way to minimize them so they're not taking so long to load. Moving on to the next step here, with your navigation. So you want to keep the navigation simple. So your home page, services page, about, contact, you might have a review section. You might have also a section for your projects. You want to make it very straightforward at the top level. But that's really all you need. Avoid clutter and complexity. White space is your friend. It directs attention to what matters the most. Bold headlines, clean layouts, and minimum distractions will always outperform fancy designs with bells and whistles. And structure each page with a clear flow. You are identifying a problem, you are presenting a solution and how your team is going to present that solution, and then you're going to end that with a call to action. Remember, your website is not your opportunity to develop a piece of art. It's a sales tool. The best sales tools are simple to understand and use. Next, if you're not measuring, you're just guessing. Set up proper tracking for all form submissions and phone calls. Pretty straightforward. You can set these up with Google Analytics 4, and you can track each time someone fills out the form. That will be counted as a conversion event in Google Analytics 4. If you are using any CRMs, you can also connect your website forms with your CRM. Many CRMs are going to provide this functionality, and you can easily see what's coming through the source and what page is driving that particular form fill. I really encourage phone call tracking for phone calls. Call tracking allows you to, one, see how many calls are coming in from month to month from your website. You can also use call tracking on other online properties like your Google business profile, your Facebook business page, for example. And this will help you understand what's coming in through those channels but also what are the quality of the calls? Usually we count anything that's over at least 60 seconds as a good call or a minute as a good call. And then it also allows you to listen to the recording. So you can see what is that interaction that you or your team member is having with that particular caller. And those can present great opportunities for training if that caller, that lead isn't being communicated with properly. Heat mapping tools, these are great to see where visitors are actually clicking and scrolling. My go-to here is Hotjar. Again, very easy to use with WordPress. And it'll tell you what people are clicking on when they are on your website, and what they reveal might be interesting. And you also can see what they're ignoring. The way that you can use this, if you find that they are not scrolling to a certain section of the website, and that section includes something important, perhaps you want to change maybe that call to action to where they are actually scrolling or clicking just to get more attention on it. And then with your analytics, again, I am referring to Google Analytics here. You want to identify high exit pages. These are the weak points in your website. So if you can improve those weak points and keep people on your website longer, it's more likely that they're going to call you or submit some information for a quote. You also want to test different call to action placements, colors, and wording. Small tweaks can lead to big gains in conversion rates. And the point is this: you can't improve conversion rates if you're not tracking them in the first place. I mentioned call tracking metrics. So this is one of my go-to tools for call tracking. I've been using this platform for years. I'm just going to zoom in here a bit. I do have some live data, but you can see here, you can get a contact. So think about it, the caller ID, it's like a caller ID. So you can see the phone number. You can also see the source of that call. So usually this is going to be wherever you've installed the call tracking snippet. You can see where that call is coming from. You can also listen to the audio, as I mentioned. The usual guideline I give clients, we will every week download all the calls from that week, listen to them to see if they're good quality. If not, that's data that we take back to our campaigns to tweak them. But if they are great quality, then we'll use that as data to maybe scale a certain part of the campaign. You can also see other metrics like the date and time of the call. So one way to use this information, if you find that you're getting many calls after your office is closed, maybe it's time to invest in a call answering service where someone is answering that call, they are intaking that lead properly, and when someone's back online, then you can schedule your next step, whether that's go out to look at the project site or to provide a quote. I also wanted to show off Google Analytics. So I did make a separate video that goes in how to set up Google Analytics for your website. But here I want to quickly go over how you can figure out what are the pages on your website where people are leaving. And we're going to call these exits for your website. So assuming you already have Google Analytics set up, you can go here to the left-hand toolbar, go to Explore. And then once you're in the Explorations menu, you're going to go to Freeform. What we're actually looking for is which pages are we seeing the most exits. And so that's going to be called a dimension. So for your dimension, go in and just do a search for pages. And let me zoom in here a bit so it's easier to see. Okay, so just do a search for page. And then you're going to see page path query string. I'll just select that one, click confirm. And then once you've added that dimension on your scroll bar, let's drag over page path and query. So now you can see, you see all the website URLs. And this is just a test website I'm using for the demo. And then from there, we by default have device category. So you see here we have desktop, mobile, tablet, and then it gives you a totals column information. So instead of device category, and let's just remove that, we want to see all of the traffic. And we don't really care for this demo where they're coming from. And then with that, you can look at, by default, we're looking at active users. So you can, as with the dimensions, you can go in and change this. So I want to see exits, and then let's also see views. So how many times a person has viewed a particular page. Now I'm going to zoom out here a bit, but before I do that, let me go ahead and add these. So I'm going to remove active users. So first I'm going to drag over views, and then I'm going to drag over exits. Let's get that out of here. And now when we zoom out, so by default, it's going to be views. But what you'll see here are the number of website or the website URLs that are getting the most views. You can also sort by exits. And this is what will get you the information on which pages are leading to the most exits from your website. How will you use that information? If you're going through and optimizing for user experience, getting people to stay on the website longer, you can prioritize those pages, because if you were to improve those pages, that's where you're going to see the most impact. Talk a bit more about conversion optimization. And conversion optimization simply is the exercise of figuring out how to improve your conversion rate from maybe 1% to 3%. Your website isn't your only online property. You want to make sure that you're optimizing for your brand at every digital touch point. So Google Business Profile is often the first place people might encounter your business online. Keep it updated with fresh photos. Stay away from stock images. Use photos of yourself, your team at work, your team in a group photo, your team playing softball, your work trucks. Ideally, if you have the branding on them, that's perfect. And anything that might showcase the culture, the personality of your team, of your company. All are great things to show in that photo section. You want complete service listings, so don't leave any of those fields with your Google Business Profile empty. And anytime you receive questions on your Google Business Profile or receive reviews, positive or negative, you want to make sure that you respond to those reviews. That will show future potential clients that you are responsive to customer needs, good or bad. Another place you might want to look at for conversion rate optimization is your Facebook business page. Your Facebook business page should have a clear call to action, so you should be using a call to action button on that page. You should have highlighted reviews and show regular updates that showcase your work. You also have third-party listings like Yelp and Angie that need to be claimed and optimized with consistent information that links back to your website. So what I mean by consistent information, you want to make sure that your name, your address, your phone number, and even your website is consistent across all properties, Yelp, Angie, Google Business Profile. Anywhere that your website is listed online or your brand is listed online, you want to make sure that information is consistent. And this can get very nuanced. So let's say if you are in a bigger office building and on one website, you've spelled out Suite 500, while on a different site, you've abbreviated Suite to STE 500, that would be considered a different address. You can use that as the source of truth as you build out these other profiles for your brand. Remember, if a potential customer can find it online, it should be built or edited to convert. If your website looks nice but doesn't convert, something's broken. It's that simple. That's where our full circuit growth method comes in. This is our proven framework that addresses every aspect of the customer journey, from awareness to decision making. We start with your dream outcome, then work backwards to create systems that get you there. First, we ensure you're getting found by the right clients through optimized online properties, including your website. Then we implement conversion improvement strategies that turn visitors into leads. Next, we build systems to convert more of those leads into paying projects. Finally, we track everything so you know exactly what's working and what needs adjustment. So this is where we're setting up the call tracking, the Google Analytics, other tools to ensure that we are getting the data that's needed to inform your campaign and work on iterative improvement over time. This systematic approach eliminates the guesswork and creates predictable lead flow. If you're serious about fixing your website's conversion issues, here's what I'm offering to anyone watching this video. Book a full free circuit growth audit with us. During this comprehensive review, we'll analyze your current website's performance and identify conversion blockages. We'll review your Google presence and compare it to your top local competitors and create a customized roadmap for improving your conversion rates. We'll also provide specific, actionable recommendations that you can implement immediately. So here's the website, destinymarketingsolutions.com. You can also give us a call at 888-846-4937. All of this information will be in the description, as well as our Calendly link. If you are ready to book an appointment, feel free to use that link to book a call with someone from our team. I do want to leave you with an expert tip that's helped our electrical contractor clients boost conversions by over 40%. Add a client review or testimonial near the top of every service page and make it hyper-local. So instead of a generic testimonial, use one that mentions a specific neighborhood or specific suburb. Also, a reference to a landmark building or well-known local business that you've served. So for example, if I was doing this for my Electrician website, I would say Leonard and his team rewired our entire office building. They were professional, punctual, and fairly priced. You can then link these reviews to your actual Google or Yelp profiles for added credibility. This simple change creates immediate trust and local relevance that generic websites can't match. Instead of just having a reviews page, you are in some way surprising your website visitors with testimonials when they don't really expect them. You should also try to put your testimonials as close to your calls to action, like your buttons, your click to calls, because this will again create that psychological connection. So before I wrap up, here's a question I'd love for you to answer in the comments. What's the biggest roadblock you face in turning website visitors into customers? Your insights help me create more targeted content for your business. And if you found value in this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I release new content for electrical contractors every week. Remember, your customer is the hero of the story, and you're their trusted guide. Make that clear in every aspect of your online presence, and you'll see your conversion rates and your business reach new heights. Again, I'm Leonard Parker from Destiny Marketing Solutions, helping you turn browsers into buyers and clicks into customers. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, in electrical work and in marketing, it's all about making the right connections.